secrets behind some top AI powered coins by market cap. Okay, we're going to be taking a look into some top AI coins here that are pretty big by market cap, taking a look into what they could be doing, some technical analysis patterns that are very important for predicting a possible reversal or a continuation downwards. Also, going to be taking a look into Bitcoin here, which is still the driver of this market. Bitcoin dominance is climbing back up as we do see altcoins kind of getting drained from this Bitcoin pullback. What could Bitcoin be doing next? That's going to be very important for you to know because it is still the driver of this market, either you like it or not. If it pumps, that is still good for the altcoins, very good for the altcoins. But if it dumps from here, that is still very bad for the altcoins as we're seeing right now. Okay, we're gonna be taking a look into if this is a bear trap on the Bitcoin chart, and if this could actually be reversing sometime soon, and see altcoins also be reversing as well. So we're gonna be taking a look into the charts in just a second. I'm going to be covering a few AI coins on this video, which would include Kaito, Kaito, Grass, and Arweave. What's going on in some of these coins? Taking a look into their price targets and their trading setups. We're going to be taking a look into some major crypto news first. I'll give you guys my instant reaction before diving into Bitcoin and, of course, the altcoin charts. That's usually going to come after the 10-minute mark. If you guys want to skip ahead, you guys can, but I never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of what the Bitcoin chart is doing. All right, let's take a look into the first piece of news here. This is by Crypto Potato. From tariff to ETFs, 5 catalysts behind Bitcoin's big drop. Well, I think I think most of the drop, if not all, has already happened. I don't really read the reasons, right? I kind of have a more forward-looking approach. I take a look into the signals mainly on the charts here, right? And some potential things that could be happening. And I mentioned one of the big things that could be happening is that the probability of a September rate cut is a lot bigger now. Let's just take a look into the CME Watch tool, which is one of the external tools I watch, for anything macro going on, because I think it all just comes down to this, okay, on a macro level, right? Of course, on the TA level, that is, I pay attention to that more, but this is also important, right? Because I think this fuels just more money coming into the market because of lower interest rates and quantitative easing, okay, which is basically government printing money. We talked about this yesterday, how the market has basically flipped, right? The probabilities of a rate cut in September. It was about 40%. Okay, it had a big drop during that FOMC meeting, but now we're actually back up here because of that terrible job report we had yesterday here in the US. Okay, so very important to be paying attention to. I actually think this is going to be a catalyst for for more crypto upside. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next piece of news here. This is by News BTC. Bitcoin plunge below 115K. Wipes out $700 million in crypto longs. Okay, I think I think it was a shakeout, right? This could still be very much a retest. Basically, when there's a breakout, which happened at about the 112K level, 110, 112K level, right? A lot of times I will see, markets retesting a breakout point. This could be what is happening. Of course, that means that it has to be that the 110K level has to hold at least that level, right? Otherwise, this could be a flop. but I mean, I think we still have quite a bit of support underneath the price action for Bitcoin right now, including the daily 50 SMA, 6-hour 200 SMA. I have mentioned mixed signals on the monthly RSI for Bitcoin, as well as the weekly RSI, where we are seeing bearish divergence, but there has been exceptions, right? I talked about those exceptions. So even though bearish divergence usually means that there is going to be a pullback, there has been exceptions. So I place my bets, according to how I gauge the probability that this could be an exception, right? That this could still be a breakout. It's not 100%, but of course, I'm just referencing the data, right? And I'm betting on this breakout still continues with a higher probability. All right, let's go ahead and go to News BTC. Bitcoin bull run stumbles. Analysts predict a possible 111K retest soon. I mean, that's more so in the cards right now. I mean, it could go back down to 111K for a basically perfect retest. And if that level does not hold, then yeah, I mean, I would change my opinion that this could be a fake out. But right now, let me show you guys on the charts after this, and I'm still seeing a pretty higher probability that this is a actual breakout. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next piece. All right, next piece here is by News BTC. Bitcoin fake out. Research firm says momentum just flipped bearish. I don't think so. I think this is still a higher probability that this is a clean breakout here. I'll show you guys why. I'm still saying that this is still a higher probability of a breakout. Even though there are some mixed signals, like I'm telling you. But like I said, there has been exceptions. All right, let's come over here to the Bitcoin chart here. Okay, monthly time frame is what I'm paying attention to. Now, this last monthly candle here from July, okay, this is basically the break above this cup and handle pattern, which is more noticeable on the weekly time frame. In my opinion here, this is still a pretty solid clean break, okay? On this weekly time frame, it looks like it's still a pretty solid clean break. I mean, it could just be my opinion, right? But I mean, if it's up to you, what's your opinion? Is this a solid weekly candle? In my opinion, it is. Of course, this entire video is just my opinions and not financial advice. I am long on Bitcoin and quite a bit of the altcoins here, so I am still bullish about this market, more likely. And I'll tell you guys when I change my opinion. But right now, I am still bullish on the markets. And that is why. Okay, even though we are seeing some mixed signals. Let's take a look into the daily time frame, where there looks like it could be a bear trap here. I talked about this falling wedge pattern, okay, which usually breaks to the upside. Right now, it looks like the bears are actually trying to break down from this falling wedge pattern. In my opinion, that is not a clean, solid daily candle close below the pattern here. Okay, so if we actually end up back into the pattern, especially with a solid daily candle close, this falling wedge is still valid. Let's take a look into a lower time frame and see what we can be dealing with. We have quite a bit of reversal signals on this lower time frame. Okay, we have quite a bit of bullish divergence, which is basically where you have equal or lower lows on the price action chart, but you have equal or higher lows on the RSI. We have quite a bit of that with a double bottom pattern, basically right here, okay, which usually breaks the upside. If this does, then we could be looking at a price target of about 115K. Of course, price targets are estimates only, and there could be more or less, right? I've seen price targets get, I've seen price action smashes price targets. I've also seen breakouts that flop short of its price targets. So, gotta just be taking into consideration of those possible scenarios. Of course, there is still a possibility that this double bottom breaks down. then in that case, I'm going to be looking at the daily 50 SMA. That could be the next level of support, which is currently at about almost 112K. And the 6-hour 200 SMA, that's going to be next level of key support. We still have quite a bit of divergence on the 4-hour time frame, possible 6-hour time frame. 6-hour 200 SMA, the orange line here is going to be about 112K as well. So that's going to be a very key level if we want to hold this breakout, right? All right, let's go ahead and go to some altcoins. We're going to take a look into Kaito first and see what's going on with this AI coin. Okay. All right, this is Kaito. See what's going on with this coin here. I'm going to wait for TradingView to load my charts. And what I'm seeing here is a falling wedge pattern on the daily time frame. Okay. And what's going on here is so we don't have exactly 3 candles touching on the bottom trend line, but I think it's close enough, in my opinion. Now, this price target for Kaito, if it breaks to the upside, okay, then we have a price target of about $2.65 if it breaks out by this point. Let's just say, for example, okay, it doesn't have to be breaking out at that point. It doesn't have to be breaking out at all, okay? There's still a downside risk to falling wedges. But that is basically what I'm looking at. $2.65 about for a price target of Kaito, and this is on the daily time frame. If it reaches that price target, so it's a pretty big if right now, then we could come back here and rechart the pattern if it consolidates at that price target or price level and see if the probability of it moving higher is likely or pulling back is likely. Let's take a look into a smaller time frame, 4-hour. See what's going on the 4-hour time frame here. So another smaller falling wedge pattern here. Price target out of this one would be $1.40. Let's see what Kaito does. Let's see if it can break out of the smaller one. And then the bigger one, or will it actually break down from here? If it does, we can come back here and update the charts. Let's take a look into grass. Let's see what's going on with this market. Weekly time frame. Excuse me, not weekly time frame. Probably on the daily time frame. Daily time frame for grass. It's another falling wedge pattern. It's going to be a very common pattern you guys should train your eyes to see because it's very simple, it's very effective, and if you guys don't see it, then these reversals are going to be kind of secretive to you as to the reason why it's reversing. But if you guys actually train your eyes to see these falling wedge patterns, it usually tells you that after an extensive downtrend in that time frame, that this price action is likely to reverse. Okay, so if grass does actually reverse, we have a price target here. If it breaks out by this point, that will give you a price target of about just right above $4.30 for grass. Okay, now price targets are basically measured by the opening of the pattern, and then you put it on top of a estimate of breakout points. Okay, and that's for the falling wedge pattern. So let's see if grass can actually reach that price target. Let's take a look into a 4-hour time frame, smaller time frame, and see if I can get any more clarity on what the price action could be doing. Will it be going up from here, or will it actually be breaking down? Now, 4-hour time frame, very similar chart as Kaito, because a lot of these altcoins are just affected by Bitcoin and follows Bitcoin, right? But at times, when Bitcoin dumps, well, a lot of times, when Bitcoin dumps, these altcoins can dump harder. Okay, 4-hour time frame. Okay, falling wedge pattern again. If this breaks to the upside, price target will give you about a 98-cent price target for grass. That's pretty big move. Okay, but this is a smaller altcoin, right? Just remember, even though the upside seems good, also have to consider the downside, because with these smaller altcoins, the downside could be pretty significant as well. All right, let's go ahead and go to Arweave, which is AR USDT or AR USD, depending on the trading pair you're trading. Now let's take a look into the weekly time frame where this actually looks like it's trying to break out of this falling wedge pattern. Okay, weekly time frame, Arweave broke out of this huge falling wedge pattern. Price target about $39. It broke out a couple weeks ago, and this huge pattern has been forming since May 2024. It's been a while. Yeah, I know. We have been taking a beating in here. I've been here since 2019. There has been a lot of ups and downs, but I think last year, from March 2024 to now, it has definitely been just more turbulence. Okay. So I feel your pain, right? Altcoin holders. And yeah, that's basically what I'm seeing. But this actually looks like it's actually breaking out. Let's see if this breakout here will actually, go towards its price targets or anywhere close. Quite a bit of moving averages that is above the price action right now, including the weekly 50 SMA. All right. Now, Arweave within this pattern has also formed a double bottom pattern, which will give a price target of about $14, just right underneath that. So that's the first target. Second target would be about, like I said, about $39. So something to be paying attention to. Will Arweave hold this weekly 21 SMA, which is basically its support right now? The blue line here currently about $6.80. If it doesn't hold, it could come back to retest this upper trend line. But a lot of this is going to depend on what happens with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin reverses from here, I could expect these altcoins to be following. However, if Bitcoin dumps from here, that's going to be very bad for the altcoins, like I said. So, something to be keeping an eye out on, and this wraps it up for this video. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of these coins or any other coins in the market. I'll see you on the next video.